Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews. I'm your host, Matt Spease, and today we are looking at Hellraiser, released in 2022. Hellraiser is a Hulu original film, and it's directed by David Bruckner. It stars Jamie Clayton, Odessa, Drew Starkey, Brandon Flynn, Adam Faison, Aoife Hinds, Goran Visnjic, Selina and Jason Liles. Now, as a lot of you that have already been visiting my channel or have viewed a lot of my past videos know, I have already reviewed the original 1987 Hellraiser. And I gave it a pretty good review because I've always enjoyed that movie. Part 2, not so much so. Part 3, it's a guilty pleasure. Some of the rest, I can do without them. But this one, it is really a much better adaptation of Clive Barker's original novella, The Hellbound Heart. Now, the original film that was made based on that is not as good of an adaptation per se, because the Cenobites are described in the Hellbound Heart as being skinned creatures with their skin peeled off in spots. They don't have, basically, clothes like in Hellraiser 1987 and any future films. They had them being leather-clad characters, and that's not how they were in the original novella. And there was no Pinhead in the original novella. That character was only described as the Hell Priest. And that character was never described in the script as being male or female. The character was always described as being more androgynous. So, when the casting of transgender actress Jamie Clayton to play the Hell Priest, which this movie is dumping the whole Pinhead as a name, even. It's going right back to that original Hell Priest. I was fine with it because the original novella, the character was not described as being male or female. So it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, whether or not Jamie was going to give a good performance, that was another story. But I was willing to give her a chance in this film. And she does not let me down in this film. Jamie Clayton is excellent as the Hell Priest. Is she better than Doug Bradley as Pinhead? No. But she has her own equally amazing performance in this film. In fact, this film gives the Cenobites more story and more to do than any of the later films ever did. With the exception of maybe the fourth film, the one that had 3 different timelines. The 1700s, 1990s or something, and then, you know, into the future in space. The Cenobites that had a little bit more to do in that one, and 3, I guess, in a way. But the Cenobites got a little ridiculous in those films. Whereas in this, they feel like they're directly from the Hellbound Heart. The way they are described by Clive Barker in there, and you can tell Clive Barker is actively involved in this film because of the way this is put together. I mean, David Bruckner is a talented director, so some of that is on him. But I think Clive Barker, being the executive producer on this thing, he was really on board with David Bruckner on this, helping him alongside of him, you know, with everything and okaying everything that he was doing, knowing that he's doing it right. Jason Liles is the Chatterer, is probably the most dominant the Chatterer has ever been in any of the films, ever. Because, I mean, that character, let's be honest, he never really did much in the, except show up alongside Pinhead and the rest and you know, do nothing. This one, it's the most dominant this character has ever been, as far as physicality and how he gets involved. And then there is another Cenobite that is a major character in the story, and that is the Gasp, played by Selina Lowe. And she is like a combination of the female Cenobite / Deep Throat from Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2, and a little bit of Angelique from Hellraiser Bloodline. So, she's really interesting as a character, because she actually is the only other Cenobite other than Jamie Clayton's Hell Priest that actually talks in this thing. And she's very good at her performance in here. As is a lot of the actors in this. There's not a name cast in this film. Odessa as Ion, as Riley. When she's first introduced, I didn't know about her. I didn't know how to take her. But as the film goes along, she gives a really good performance in here. And I think she was really good. I enjoyed her in this film. Drew Starkey is our boyfriend Trevor. He's a pretty cool character. There's a twist near the end that I'm not going to give away any of the spoilers about this film, because this is a new film and I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So Trevor was a pretty cool character. And Odessa and Drew have really good chemistry as the two characters. And then we have Brandon Flynn as Matt, which is Riley's brother. He was really good in there while he was in there. And then we have his boyfriend, Adam Faison, as Colin. And he was really good too. These two characters were very good characters in there. It's a male gay couple, which I'm fine with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And they are not portrayed in any stereotypical way. They are portrayed as just people, and I like that. I respect that. I respect directing the characters like that. It's one of the reasons I hated They/Them, because they put a lot of stereotypes in that film, and it just does not work for me. So, Aoife Hinds is Nora. She's okay, I guess, but she doesn't get a lot of time on screen. Now, Goran Visnjic as Roland Voight, he's basically our Frank from the original film. He basically takes on that kind of a role in this. He is using the puzzle box, and the puzzle box itself has never been used better in any film in this series. The way it starts off in the normal lament configuration, and then as it's solved, it cuts someone, and then the Cenobites come for them, and then it changes shape to a new form, and it has 6 different forms. The final form is Leviathan, which is the more sharp-bladed, almost like form, which that form was in the previous Hellraiser films, but I think Christy Cotton and the other girl from Part 2, I believe it was, uses that version as more a weapon, more like a dagger and everything, and uses it when they get it to that shape. And it doesn't cut people in the original. In this one it does, and it takes that person that does it. So that's where the Roland character is really a manipulative person, because he's not willing to use the box, cut himself, and go to this, So he has other people do it for him. He sacrifices them, then he takes it to another person, has them, So he is a really interesting character in there. He's this art collector guy, and he's well played. Goran Visnjic does a great job playing this character. So, as you can tell, I think this film was one of the best Hellraiser films since the original. Do I think it's better than the original? No. It's close, though. It is close. It is definitely better than 2 and 3. So, my review of Hellraiser 2022, I give this film an 8.5 out of 10. If you were a fan of the original film, or you were a fan of Clive Barker's original novella, The Hellbound Heart, I think you will be pleased with this new film. The Hell Priest is probably the most accurate the character has ever been. And so are the Cenobites. This is more accurate than the original film, as far as the Cenobites go. And Jamie Clayton's performance as the Hell Priest is an incredible performance. Powerful. So, if you haven't seen this film yet, and you are a fan of these films, or you are a fan of Clive Barker, I think you will be pleasantly pleased with this film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it now. It is great. So, what did you think of this film? If you have already seen it, please comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And if you liked this review, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it really does help my channel out a lot. And don't think this is the end. We're in the Halloween season, so I will have more reviews coming. So hope you've enjoyed my review. We'll see you next time.